and welcome to Value Chain TV News Update. I am S.A. Ufoma with the news. And on the news update, all is now set for the 2024 Nigeria International Energy Summit, NIES, beginning from Monday, February 26th to March 1st at the International Conference Center, Abuja. The week-long event with the theme Navigating the New Energy World Order, Security, Transition and Finance will feature numerous panel sessions and exhibitions with a distinguished speakers' long list of corporation heads, industry captains, policymaker, exhibitors, and guests. Value Chain TV spoke with Frank Uzuegbunam, the head of media Brevity Anderson, the organizers of the summit, on the preparations ahead of the event.
First and foremost, you all know that Nigeria International Energy Summit is the biggest oil and gas event in Africa, in the whole of African continent. So, as usual, we are set to roll out the drums and make it live up to expectation. We are expecting about over 6,000 delegates, special guests, and exhibitors from about 60 countries from all over the country. And we are expecting top international energy players, from the OPEC Secretary General to the top players in Nigeria indigenous producers, and middle to top management in oil and gas sector. So what we are expecting is that, as usual, the outcomes will help to shape the policies and laws guiding the oil sector in Nigeria. So we expect a robust discussion. We expect a high level of engagement, networking from all across the world. This is the window to Africa in terms of oil and gas.
Value Chain TV is an official media partner of the event and will bring you full details of proceedings on our channels and platforms. President Bola Tinubu has set up an economic advisory committee comprising the federal government, subnationals, and the private sector. This was revealed during the interaction between the president and key stakeholders at the State House, Abuja. Some of the prominent members of the private sector that made the list include the chairman of United Bank for Africa, Mr. Tony Elumelu, and the chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote. Former vice president and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in last year's presidential elections, Atiku Abubakar, has urged President Bola Tinubu to emulate the reform policy of President Javier Milei of Argentina instead of faulting opposition parties and its predecessors. Atiku said that both Tinubu and Milei inherited troubled economies in 2023 but employed different strategies for recovery. In related development, former Anambra State Governor and presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023 general elections, Mr. Peter Obi, has berated the federal government over the soaring price of food in the country, saying Nigerians are now united by hunger and starvation. In an interview with journalists, Obi said that the government has been unable to address the increase in prices of food items in the country. The lawmaker representing Osun Central, Senator Ajagunla Olubiyi Fadeyi, has advised President Bola Tinubu to urgently convene a national stakeholders engagement forum that will provide lasting solution to the biting challenges facing the country. Fadeyi, who made the charge while speaking to newsmen, commended the president for providing palliatives to Nigerians. He, however, expressed concerns over why the reliefs were not getting to targeted beneficiaries. Modular refineries in Nigeria are currently facing threats of shutting down operations due to their inability to access foreign exchange for the purchase of crude oil. Publicity Secretary of the Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria, Eche Udoku, who spoke to journalists, stated that the scarcity of dollars made it almost impossible for operations of the crude oil, as the modular refinery players and oil marketers demanded for the sale of crude oil in naira form. The federal government in Nigeria has 25 licensed modular refineries with a combined capacity of producing 200,000 barrels of crude oil daily, and if fully operational, it would refine about $16 million, which is equivalent to 25.14 billion naira, using the 1,571 naira per dollar exchange rate. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has announced its plan to investigate more than 3,000 financial crime cases. The chairman of the commission, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, disclosed this at the 20th anniversary lecture of the Human Environmental Development Agenda Resources Center in Lagos over the weekend. He explained that the 3,000 cases approved for investigations were part of the over 5,000 petitions received by the agency from different groups and Nigerians, adding that the agency has recovered over 60 billion naira and $10 million in less than 4 months since he assumed office. The report.
I was speaking as a Nigerian, patriotic Nigerian. We must commend the efforts of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in ridding the nation of corruption. You see, most times the activities of the EFCC is not getting heard or seen until we hear that they've invaded one tertiary institution or the other. But we know as Nigerians that EFCC is working around the clock to bring sanity to Nigerian economic system and to give Nigeria a good name in the international community. For example, just yesterday thereabout, I read in the news where the chairman of EFCC was specifically concerned about the contracting process in governance, and he asked every MDA to, to furnish them with their plans for how they intend to curb corruption through their contract processes.
It should have been that they are doing a good job, but for the fact that they are not independent yet, they are still under the control of the executive. That is why one would look at them working below expectation. Likewise, EFCC should be independent in the sense that they should go by the truth, not to be forced to go by the truth, rather to go by the truth that they know.
The Economic Community of West Africa States, ECOWAS, has lifted sanctions imposed on Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali, and Niger. ECOWAS said it was lifting financial and economic sanctions against Guinea and ending restrictions on the recruitment of Malians to professional positions within the bloc's institutions. The sub-regional bloc imposed sanctions following military coups in the countries between 2020 and 2023. Value Chain TV gathered the reactions of some Nigerians to this development. The report.
I'm not against that, but what they ought to have done was, I've discussed with them. Why did they do what led to the ban? That's what they ought to have looked into first. So after lifting the ban, I think they should call them to a table and then let us see how we can, because the essence of ECOWAS is unity. Though something made them to do what caused that thing, so they should come together and work on it.
What ECOWAS has done is the best solution to the Nigerian people, because people are suffering now. The price is higher, and anytime the price is continue higher, so people are more suffering now. So the banning is the border is the cause of this problem. So we are suffering from hunger, poverty. People cannot get 2 square meal per day. So often removing this banning so will reduce the suffering.
And that's it on Value Chain TV News Update. I am S.A. Ufoma. Thanks for watching.